Today is neither a good nor a bad day. It is simply a day where I get to be very reflective. Because this morning, a friend of mine reached out and she was like, "Hey, is there a number I can call in case I can't get a hold of you?" And it's the second person that's asked me that. Sorry, let me just adjust this so it doesn't keep vibrating. So it's the second person that's asked me that. And, I'm grateful to have people who care about me so much that they want to be able to help if ever the need arises. But even though I am very grateful for that, when people ask things like that, what it really boils down to is, can we set up a way for me to know if you die so I don't have to spend the rest of my life wondering? That's kind of what it comes down to. I know that's not really what they're asking, but in a way, it kind of is. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I myself have already set things up for this very thing, for my girlfriend specifically. Because, friends and families, like, I know I'm keeping in touch with everyone, but it's like, if the worst were to happen, I don't want my girlfriend to go through the rest of her life wondering. So I literally like gave my girlfriend's number to my sister and be like, hey, if, something were to happen, please reach out to her, let her know what happened. So I understand where my friends are coming from. And once again, I'm grateful that they care about me so much. But it's just like having that happen, it's just a very, very stark reminder of the seriousness of this situation. Because like I'm so focused on the day to day of like, immigration for my girlfriend, on getting ready to start the new job, on, doing all these diet adjustments and trying to figure out a way so I can get enough calories and, all the supplements I'm taking and all the other things that I'm doing to try to get better. And I get so caught up in that day to day that I kind of sometimes lose the sight of the bigger picture. Like, yeah, I know this is serious. I know I could die very soon. I know that's a possibility. But because I'm so focused on staying alive and I'm so focused on doing what needs to be done, that I kind of sometimes forget about that a bit. And when people reach out like this and they're like, hey, is there someone I can reach out to? It's just a very, very brutal sometimes reminder of, yeah, I could die really fucking soon. And that sucks. And it's a reminder of, I really don't want to die. And it's also a reminder of all these things that I complain about, of like, not being hungry anymore, having to force myself, the shakes that I'm making to like, be able to get enough calories and all that. Like it sucks. And I have a headache and I have a stomach ache and I'm coughing. It's like all these things that I complain about. It's like, yeah, okay. It's part of the journey. And I'm not saying I have no reason to complain because I'm going through that, but at the same time, it just puts everything in perspective. And it's like, who cares about small things like, oh, eggs don't make you feel the best when you eat them, but you need to eat them because you need the calories. Who gives a fuck? It's keeping you alive. So that's part of why today I'm so reflective. The other part is because this afternoon I'm going to go visit my brother. I haven't seen him in, I don't know, multiple years. I used to go see him more often. It's just, he's autistic, so his understanding, his mental capacities are about that of a 2, maybe 3-year-old for certain things. So very, very basic. And it got to the point when I used to go visit him, he didn't recognize me anymore. And I just felt like I was intruding on his life. I was disturbing him. So I'm like, it started feeling selfish for me to go see him because I'm disturbing him just so I get to see him. So because of that, I kind of stopped for a while. But, I still think about him. I still love him. I still miss him. But it's just, he's living a different life than me. But given everything that's going on, I'm like, I want to see him while I'm here staying with my dad's. And that's going to be this afternoon. And it's just with what happened this morning with my friend reaching out, being like, hey, is there a number that I can call if ever I can't get a hold of you? And then I'm going to go see my brother for the first time in, I don't know, maybe, might be like 4 or 5 years at this point. And it kind of feels like maybe I'm going there to say like goodbye, just in case. So it doesn't really change anything. I'm still going to do everything that I can to survive, and I still believe I will find a way to survive. But having these reminders, it's just, well, reminding me of how truly serious this is. And there's not really that much else to it. It's just a reminder of like, yeah, I really don't fucking want to die. I want to live really, really bad. And it's also a reminder of maybe I am gonna die. I don't know. Like it is to some degree outside my power. Yes, I manifested this because this is exactly the experience I need to go through, but I don't know what's on the other side of that experience. Maybe it's another 50 years of life. Another. I'm not 50. I don't know why I said another. But anyway. So maybe what's on the other side of this is an even better life. A long, fulfilling, happy life of me not holding myself back, me just surrendering to whatever's meant to happen. Or maybe what's on the other side of this is just whatever comes after death. And maybe that's where I am in my journey. I'm just meant to discover that. I don't know. I really hope not, because it's not that I'm afraid of death. I've faced death a couple times in my life, and we all know we're going to die. So I'm not afraid of the death itself. Because, whether it's now or it's 50 years from now, I'm still going to die. That's okay. I have no problem with that. I just don't want to die now. I'm here. Why not make the most of the time while I'm here? Whether that's, a couple weeks, couple months, couple years, or couple decades, or who knows, maybe centuries. Like, we don't know the advancements. But anyway, all that to say, I think it just comes down to all these things are just a reminder of I need to surrender to this experience. I re-listened to the Surrender Experiment recently, and it's a story about a guy who's telling his life over the span of 40 years, how he decided to surrender to life and not fight, and all the amazing things that happened as a result of that. And I found that story really cool back when I read it, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago at this point. But I wasn't ready to do that. And now it's like I don't have a choice. I'm being forced to do that. Because it's like, this situation is so extreme. I can do the best I can do, and that's it. But that's maybe like 20% of it, 80% of it is outside of my control. It's about experiencing whatever this is meant to be. And I think this is one of the very, very big things that I meant to get out of this entire experience. Is this acceptance. This acceptance of I just need to surrender to life. Not to mean I have no power, just to mean I don't need to maintain the power. I can just live my life. And everything that happens is meant to happen. I don't need to force anything. I don't need to rush anything. The best reminder of that is immigration. Every single step of the way was so complicated, so much research, so many hoops to jump through. And it's almost at the end. And it's like, okay, I can't surrender to that. Everything's almost done. Let's just finish it, and then we can surrender the outcome. But that's the perfect analogy for life, because I've always tried to force things to make them happen my way. And it almost never happens that way. And that just makes me miserable and makes me feel like a failure. Whereas if I just surrender to life, surrender to the experience, and know deep down everything that happens is exactly the way it's meant to happen, my life as one can be so much more fulfilling, and two, exactly what it needs to be, and so much better than what I'm trying to force it to be. Because I know that trying to maintain control is keeping me, like forcing me to play small when I can play so much bigger. I just need to learn to surrender. And same for the finances. I don't want a job. I still have to have one. It's hard for me to ask for people to donate. Still something I gotta do. It's all part of the process. You just got to surrender. All right. I'll check back in tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see what happens.